Hey, what's up? Welcome to Saturday's Warrior. I'm Trevor, and we are giving our instant reaction to the BYU victory over Texas Tech. And this is something we do every week after the BYU game, although it seems like I don't do it after losses. It's just a coincidence. I had things going on both weekends. It didn't happen, but generally after every game going forward, whether BYU wins or loses, hopefully we'll have these instant reactions where we just kind of give our gut, some of our observations and initial reaction immediately after the game. It's a little bit raw. And then earlier in the week, around Monday, we'll do the Big 12 power rankings for the week. And then usually around Wednesday, sometimes Thursday, get out another video where Adam joins us and we not only break down the BYU game in a little bit more detail, but then we go on to make our picks for the Big 12 games for the week, as well as any other major matchups happening. And so with all that, please like the video and subscribe to the channel so you can catch all that and join us for more BYU and Big 12 content. So getting into the game tonight with BYU's win over Texas Tech, it was really felt like one that we had to have. Looking at the rest of the schedule, it doesn't get any easier. And with Texas Tech down to their third string quarterback, it's at home, technically a night game, homecoming weekend. It really felt like BYU had to get this one if they really want to make it to a bowl game. And so it was great that they came out and played big and got the victory. It was really frustrating. This has not been the first time it's happened with Fox Sports. I feel like all the time BYU's games are delayed when they're on ESPN and they don't start on time when they're supposed to start at 10:15. They don't start till 10:30 or whatever. Would have been nice if they kicked off just a little bit later tonight so it didn't overlap with the prior game. But we missed the beginning opening drive, that touchdown, and then for whatever reason, because they're at commercial break, we missed the fumble recovery that BYU ended up getting a touchdown on there as well. So we missed the first two touchdowns. That was frustrating. It kind of felt like Fox didn't want to show any BYU touchdowns, but we got there. One of my first reactions was it really felt like the crowd was into it. You'd see early on in the game the camera shaking, and I felt like that was a huge step. Not that BYU's crowd doesn't show up, but just coming back from the TCU loss, the way we lost, and we're just completely embarrassed to come out with a high energy, and I think that helped a lot. That was huge, and I really love that, and that energy carried over. And some of my thoughts might be all over the place because I started out watching the game on my phone, so I kind of just wrote these down as I thought of them, not as the game went. But speaking of energy, Tyler Batty had lots of energy. He had that hit on the sideline that, where he clobbered the guy, and then he got called again, or they reviewed it, potential targeting, which it wasn't. It was a completely clean hit on the quarterback, and he just felt like he was all over the place. Tons of energy tonight. I love seeing that, and other guys too, but Batty especially stood out. The punting tonight was fantastic, although we don't really want to focus on how much we had to punt when we did. I mean, Rico was just fantastic, although we did miss McKenzie not being in the game, being the gunner there. They were able to get some decent yards on those returns. And I love that Rico was the one that recovered that fumble, the loose ball. That felt fitting, to give him another stat there. Let's see what else I noticed. Since we've been talking a little bit about defense, Strong, he looked pretty good. I mean, he's a third string quarterback. I think, we did get burned by a second string last week, and that's one thing. But a third string, even at a P5 level, I think there is going to be some drop off, and there was, but I thought he looked really good. I mean, he even with pressure and hits coming, he stood in there and he delivered several passes that way. I think where he struggled was he did get some deep balls, but there were others that it really bailed us out because their man had us beat, and the balls were just a little overthrown. And so that was a big help for us and our defense, which generally overall I thought looked pretty good, pretty solid. Obviously there's still some work to do, but considering the injuries we have, and yes, they're playing a third string quarterback, still a good team. This is a team that really hung in there with Oregon all the way till the end, and and really limited them, and they didn't get that second touchdown until much later in the game. And so let's see what else. Oh, and speaking about it, the interceptions, I mean, that was great. I mean, it could have been many more interceptions. And one thing I think is interesting with so many of them this year is that a lot of the interceptions, like I think of Kai Nakua, who got a lot of interceptions, but he was a guy that either baited quarterbacks or could just read them, and he went and found that ball and he'd get it, and he was really good at that. And a lot of ours are from deflections and then guys just being in the right place. Like, how is it that that some of these guys just continue to be in the right place at the right time to intercept those the deflections and other things? And so not taking away from their interceptions, it was awesome and great work. Just interesting that as opposed to, they're not necessarily, although we had some at the end, all from guys just going out there and positioning and reading the quarterback. A lot of them are just right place at right time. And so we've really benefited from that. But then the other thing is you got to catch it. And so those guys are catching them and reeling it in. Whereas tonight, I mean, we had, what's his face? Was it Wakely? He needs to maybe start running some drills with the receivers or something. Switching sides here, obviously on offense, we had that one-handed grab by Lassiter, which was huge. I mean, I love that we have guys that can go up there and reel those in. We had the game with where we had two of them, Chase Roberts for the touchdown, and oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his name. You can tell it's late and I'm tired. But it also goes to show that he's been Isaac Rex. He's been quiet lately, and wondering why that is. If that's scheme, if that's him for whatever reason. You'd like to see this guy with NFL potential, really show that. Especially if he's going to be leaving, I'd love to see him be in a position to get drafted. And right now, it doesn't look like he's doing a lot of that. Let's see. So another thing. I'm bouncing back and forth. I know I was talking about turnovers already, and I'll go back to that. I did say at the top of the video, this is usually a little bit more raw, just my initial thoughts. And the turnover battle, I mean, we won it. This has been huge for us all year. Even when it looks like we're getting outplayed, we get those turnovers. We have good field position thanks to special teams, and that's really benefited us. And that's true. And and that's all very good. But if we're winning by that many turnovers, I think it was 5 at the end of the day. Maybe it was more there late. But let me see here with the why is this not turnovers are not included here on this stat page? I'm on the wrong, not on a good stat page then. So, but I feel like the score we should have been able to put up more points. The good news is, we were getting some catches. We definitely struggled at moments and had too many 3-and-outs. And I also thought the play calling was a little weird. Sometimes it would be all run or all passes, and instead of really mixing it up. But I did love seeing Robbins get in there and really show what he's made of. I don't know if I feel like they didn't announce that he was injured until more recently, and so the thought was that he was just benched because that first game performance and how LJ Martin really showed out and kind of stole that spot from him. But now we're hearing maybe he was injured, and so now he's back. And so for whatever reason it is, they put him in there. We didn't see LJ Martin again. I don't know if that was just a chance to give Robbins more touches and get him in the flow because he was doing well, maybe because he was a bruiser, and they felt like that was the type of running we needed for this game to be successful. But even though Robbins had that huge run, like 50-yard run in that first drive that we missed, and so I thought he looked great. I was glad to see it because I think that is potentially a key to opening up our offense if we can get consistent running. And it looked a lot better today. This was how many total yards rushing? 150, which feels huge for us. Would have liked a few more in the air, but that felt huge. So great to see him. Let's see. Was Chase Roberts, because he went quiet, and then I thought I saw him on offense when we had the ball on offense on the sideline without a helmet on. Was he injured? Did you see that? Please let me know in the comments if that is the case. And speaking of receivers being out, what a bummer that Hill was out, with his dad playing for Texas Tech, and would have been a really fun game for him to have been a part of. Would have loved to have seen that. So hopefully he sticks around at least another year. We get a return game to play Texas Tech next year. Would be awesome. Okay. And another thing, I liked when Satake wanted the review and he did the sign for the VAR. I thought that was funny. I don't think that is the official college football signal for that, but we caught that. And then another thing I noticed, so the tush push has been in the news a lot lately, talking about potentially getting it banned from the NFL. And what are your thoughts on that? Because I noticed today that second touchdown that Tech got, it came from behind. I don't know if this exactly qualifies as the tush push, and got that push to get in over the line. And, I don't know if I see an issue with it. Also in the game, and I can't remember at what point, we saw a big scrum, and I don't even remember which team it was, but then we see several players coming, and this happens in a lot of football games. You see players coming from both sides pushing on offense and defense and trying to move that scrum forward. And so for me, I don't really see how that's really any different than the tush push. So I think it's really bizarre that they want to make it illegal. Clearly, some people say, well, this isn't football. There's no strategy to it. And I've seen that said, but the case is that the Eagles are better at doing it than other people. So there's clearly something to it that they're able to do. Their personnel, there's a level of skill, of strategy that they're able to execute at a higher level. So I don't know, but that doesn't directly really have anything to do specifically with this game. I just thought of it while watching and seeing the tush push in display. So anyway, overall, my impression was I was happy with the effort, especially considering some of the injuries. I'm glad to see the passing. It seems like some of those woes are still there, but fortunately, going up against maybe the defense just was not as aggressive or just not as up to it. But we weren't punished for some of the offensive woes. Our defense was able to hang in there. We benefited from a young, inexperienced quarterback, although he did look really sharp. And so while we can be happy we got the win, there were some things that were promising, especially Aiden Robbins coming in and just an improved running game overall. I'm trying to see what else. Our third down efficiency was not great, 4 out of 14. Still total plays was only 57 and 8 punts. So there's a lot there that you'd like to see. Sorry, there it is. 5 turnovers in total. I just would like to see more, a little bit more, but it was a move in the right direction. Is it going to be enough to give BYU some confidence going into the game next week against Texas? We will see. But nonetheless, glad to have the victory, glad to see some improvement and really change in demeanor from the team. And I love that. So regardless, it's a victory. Again, we do these instant reactions after every game. And then we'll do our Big 12 power rankings early in the week. The mid to late week, we'll have the we'll have our picks. And then also, hopefully, if I can line it up, I've had trouble getting people every week. We also do Know the Foe, where we get, we do an interview and have conversation with somebody from from the opposing team that week to learn a little bit more about them and what to expect in the upcoming matchup, along with any other videos that we get out during the week. So be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you can catch all that. And thank you. We'll see you next time, and go Cougs.